The Switch Pro is here. Not quite. Nintendo is releasing this fall an updated version of the Switch, not a full Pro model as many people were speculating, but the rumors held somewhat true that there would be a new enhanced version of the Switch coming out before the end of this year. And it's kind of a mixed bag. I think that this is not going to be, some big blockbuster sales success, but there definitely will be an audience for this. There are very few enhancements to this version, especially just looking at the game performance side. There's really nothing to go here. The big differences are a new dock and a 7-inch screen as compared to the 6.2-inch screen on the regular version of the system, so a little bit less than an inch wider, and it is now using an OLED screen like the original model of the PlayStation Vita did. So basically it's going to be a slightly better looking screen for people that play the Switch in handheld mode a lot, and a tiny bit larger. It's kind of like the 3DS XL versus the regular 3DS, although even less extreme expansion in the screen size. Definitely a little bit of an improvement in the screen itself, but who is this really going to be geared towards, since there's no real enhancements to the actual gameplay? If you are someone who plays the Nintendo Switch either primarily or exclusively in handheld mode, this might be a good option, but then again, for the new price tag, you're probably better off, if you're just someone who plays it in handheld mode all the time, buying the Switch Lite, like my wife did. We have a regular Switch, a launch model, and then we have the newer Switch Lite, that blue, purple blue, that they just released, and because she only pretty much plays it in handheld, and I play a mix of handheld and up on the projector. So it might capture a little bit of that audience, but not a lot. I think the minor improvement here too means that some people might upgrade, say they have a launch model Switch, to this new version, but probably not right away until there's a price cut, because that's a pretty hefty price difference just to upgrade your Switch. So I think this is really going to be a great product for people who have not already gotten a Switch, for holdouts, or people who are in a household where they have one Switch, they've been waiting to get a second, just haven't quite bitten the bullet. Maybe this will be their second Switch, that kind of thing. But overall, it's just such a minor improvement that for me personally, it's not worth getting into yet. It's something where I'm not really interested in upgrading my Switch for a huge cost just for that little bit. I'm very happy with the Switch that I have, and we have the Switch Lite. And at the same time, I still think that eventually, with trying to prolong the lifespan of the Switch, eventually there will be a more powerful version of the Switch, improvements to the actual gameplay experience. So I'm kind of waiting out on that. This little half-step measure, to me, if I didn't have a Switch already, this would be the model I would go for, absolutely, because of the better screen and because I play a lot in handheld mode. But overall, it's definitely one that, if for some reason down the road there isn't a more powerful version of the Switch, it really is just like a Switch 2 and doesn't play original Switch games or whatever, years down the line, if that were the case, then I would probably get this Switch eventually as an additional Switch to have for the collection for use. But at this time, it just is not something I'd be interested in, and really just, I don't know, for me, it's such a small half step forward that I can't see this having a wide audience. I think it's kind of the performance issues in such a small way that it really just doesn't seem like a logical buy if you already have a Switch. I do think that there's a good chance, a lot of people are speculating that any kind of Switch Pro or that type of thing would launch with Breath of the Wild 2, and that's still a possibility, but I'm predicting that there's going to be a Breath of the Wild 2 limited edition version of this specific Switch model coming down the road. I think that we're going to see that. So it's a cool little thing, and again, if you don't already have a Switch, this is a great one to go for, but I'm happy with what I have, and the improvements are just far too minor to make me plunk down the cash for this version.